Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good Thursday, good next day. Hi, how you doing? It's good to see all the familiar names back in the chat room. Glad you could join me today. I've already shared the class notes, but let me share one more time. They're the class notes. You should see them in the chat room if you take a look there. Oh, Rosa, I don't know what that is. Rosa, what is millefeuille? Millefeuille. Is that something you're eating? I'll give you a little time to eat before we start. It's good to see you all. It's good to see all your familiar names and read all of your excellent chat room chats. You guys are awesome at chatting in English, actually. You're a lot easier to chat with than a lot of my American friends. I am tired this morning. People ask me how I am. I am tired this morning. I went to a movie theater last night. The radio station I worked for, we rented a movie theater. So it was all ours, just our group, about a small group, about 30 people, and we had the whole theater. And we watched 2 Christmas movies. We watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, and we watched a Finnish movie, a movie from Finland called Rare Exports, which was also a Christmas movie. I had never seen that movie before, and it's excellent. I would recommend it. So I was up late watching movies at a movie theater last night. And now I'm here with you. One thing I wanted to tell you is about next week. Next week, I will not be here. We won't have classes next week. We will have classes again in 2 weeks. As you know, next week is a big holiday week for many of us here in America. For me, I celebrate Christmas with my family, and it's good to have a little time off. So there won't be any of these live classes next week, but look for us again in 2 weeks. We're just taking 1 week off. So don't worry about that. We're just taking 1 week off. And maybe it'll give you all out there a little time to rest yourselves. I know you're eager to learn a lot of English, but sometimes it's good to rest the brain as well. And yeah, I will miss all of you too, but remember, it's just a week. I'll be back in 2 weeks, just a short break. Tiny little short break. So I will miss all of you too. I will miss chatting with you and presenting excellent English lessons to you, but it's just a week. Yeah, for me and Joshua, no class. I think for Abby as well. I don't know about Mark or Sean. I'm not sure. I am not sure. But I know Josh and myself, we will not have class next week. Yeah, take a rest. Let the brain rest. Let the brain absorb everything you've learned so far. And then when you start again, you can continue to progress. You continue to progress upwards. Okay, shall we look at the class notes? Maybe one more time. I will share the class notes in the chat room. And now let's look at those class notes. Shall we? We shall. Okay. Every time at the beginning of my videos, I always give you these links, just in case anybody new is watching. If you watch these videos archived, I am speaking to students live. If you can join us live for these lessons, you can join the chat room and talk with these students live. So if you ever see me looking off to the side, It's because I am looking at comments written by real live people from around the world. So please join us. If you've just been watching the archived videos, please join us live. If you have any questions about the live classes, of course, you can always email Zach up in Canada. And here is his email. If you want to know more about our subscription classes, where you will get full access to the Smrt curriculum, and you will get video corrections by a teacher, you will get quizzes, which reminds me, Aaron, I have to send you a quiz, and I will this week. You will get a quiz this week. And then when you're done, you will get a certification. We have pre-intermediates, and it was Nicole before, but now it's Abby. We have intermediate with Mark. We have upper intermediate with myself. And then finally, English for academic purposes with Josh. So 4 levels. Pick the level that's right for you. And then we go to the SCEL page. This is the college where I work and Josh works and Nicole works and Abby works. So go ahead and look at that web page if you want to know more about our lovely college and lovely downtown Spokane. We have a Facebook group. It is Learn English on Facebook. Please join us. Please join us for our Facebook group if you haven't done so already. And then finally, I think somebody was asking about this. Where can you see a schedule? On our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is Smrt English, this Smrt Live class here. Right now I'm live. Here's my video. Upcoming tomorrow, Abby with some pre-intermediate English lesson. And then also tomorrow, Josh with an English for academic purposes. Usually you'll see more classes. It looks like Mark and Sean will also be taking a break. Usually this will be fuller. You'll see about 6 classes ready to go. But because we're getting ready for the holidays, there's just 2 more tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow, why don't you? Tune in tomorrow. Abby will be teaching this same time tomorrow, and then Josh will be teaching later in the day. And then, if you want, you can watch any of these archived videos. These videos are archived, and you can go back and watch old lessons. And then we also have another teacher, Sean, that makes videos, and you can watch his archived lessons as well. And if you're not sure of your level, go ahead and watch everybody. Watch all the teachers, and then see which one you like best or which one feels most comfortable. Okay, to the lesson. Let's get to the lesson. Oh, as always, I'm Neal Hallgarth. That name has a lot of L's in it, which can be difficult to pronounce. Neal, then take a pause, take a breath, Hall, and then you can stop there, and then Garth. Neal Hallgarth. Just to remind you, we're not on mixed conditionals anymore. We are on other conditional expressions. Today's lesson is other conditional expressions. To remind you of a couple vocabulary, we have hypothetical. Hypothetical is just an imagined thought, not real. Not real. It's an idea, a dream. You're just wondering. Hypothetical. And then conditional itself means something can happen because something else happens or will happen. So one thing happening leads to another thing happening. Conditionals in that way are a little bit like cause and effect, but something special has to happen in order for the next thing to happen. And I was asked a question last time. Why do we use conditionals? We use them to express ourselves a little more emotionally. We also use them to be polite. They're also kind of a polite grammar. They're a nice way of saying things. And finally, we can express things like regrets with them. But I would say mostly they are emotionally expressive and they are polite. Rather than saying something directly, you can say it a little more politely. It is a little more around the way, but I think it's also considered more polite. As a quick review, let's go. Oh, was that your question, Aaron? Why do we use conditionals? Yeah, we use it. It's a nice way to express things in English, either speaking or writing. It's a softer delivery. It's not so direct. It's not so blunt. Blunt is something that's like one hard surface hitting another hard surface. It's considered a softer, a nicer way to express things. Okay. We will be talking about unless today because we're talking about other conditional expressions. As a quick review, the first conditional is used to express facts. We make it by putting a present simple verb in the if clause, and then on the other clause, the independent clause, we'll use the modal will and a base verb. For example, if you buy, present simple verb, buy a used car, comma, always use the comma if you start with if. Always use the comma if you start with if. If you buy a used car, comma, you will save money. That's first conditional, and it's used to express facts. Facts. It's used to express facts. It's kind of a hard word to say. Facts. It's used to express facts. Okay, sorry, I'm just having fun with pronunciation. Second conditional, used to express, and here's that word, hypothetical situations in the present or future. So these are probably not true. These are just imagination, just an idea. And we make them by using if again. Now our verb will be past simple, comma, then use modal either would or if you're talking about ability, could, and then a base verb. For example, if I didn't have, and you can express it in the negative, and here the auxiliary has taken the past simple form. If I didn't have bad eyes, comma, I would become a pilot. Just a dream, just a crazy dream. This person will probably not become a pilot. Let me make this just a tad bigger. That's probably a little easier to read. I'll just leave it there. If I studied hard, comma, I could pass the test. Third, Melinda, we are just reviewing. We're reviewing from the past conditional lessons before we continue on to the new conditional. Third conditional is used to express a hypothetical situation, same as second conditional, but this one will be in the past, a hypothetical situation in the past. Third conditional, if plus past perfect, comma, would or could plus have plus present perfect. And I guess have is part of the present perfect. So maybe we should say present perfect verb. If you hadn't, and you can express these in the negative, if you hadn't left home early, comma, you would have arrived late. However, with third conditional, the opposite is true. So this actually means the person did leave home early and they did not arrive late. They were on time. It's just a hypothetical situation in the past. Trump, why? How do we use subjunctive mood with conditional? Oh, you're going to have to give me some time to think about that one too, about the subjunctive in the conditional. Maybe if we have time at the end, I can get to that. Trump, why? If I don't get to it today, remind me when I come back in 2 weeks. I will try to have an answer for you in my next lesson. I will remember that question. I will try to have an answer for you in the next question or next lesson. Okay. Mixed conditionals, these are a little strange. And the question, Divya, can we use couldn't and could in second conditional? We can. You can use modal in second conditional. You can use modal could or couldn't. Let me get control of my mouse wheel again. Yeah, we can use modal could or couldn't in second conditional and in third conditional. Mixed conditional. Oh, Leo, thank you for answering Trump-wise question. If I were you, I were subjunctive mood. Thank you, Leo. Starting with the second conditional, if you have a be verb, you're going to change it to were. I don't know what this sentence means, but if I were you, I'd wear better pants. Guess we're saying the person's pants aren't cool. Okay, mixed conditionals, we have two of them. We have a past condition with a present results. And we have if plus past perfect, comma, would, could, plus base verb. If I had eaten breakfast before school, I wouldn't be so hungry now. So you look at a past, what can we call it? A past condition. This person did not eat breakfast. They're only dreaming. Is it working now? Let's see. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. The internet quit working. The internet quit working on me. So let me get all this set up. I might as well bring this back. Sorry about that, everybody. My internet just went kaput. So let me log back in, get the lesson back up. I know there's a, a black screen behind me. Computers aren't 100% perfect. I think you all know that. So, sorry about that. I got it working again. Yeah, did the internet just stopped working for a second there? That's all. Just a little bit of a technical difficulty. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for sticking around, by the way. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Mixed conditionals. Mixed conditionals. Thank you for your patience and sticking around. Small technical difficulty. The internet went down. It just turned off, so I had to get everything back, had to reset everything. So yeah, Leo, I should be current on my bill. Well, it's Christmas time. I want to buy everybody presents. I don't have money for bills. Are you kidding me? Okay, let's continue. I was going to give you some new information here. So here is something we haven't talked about before. It's not in the lesson. It's called the zero conditional, And we use the zero conditional for present fact, So if plus present simple, comma, present simple. It's very easy to make. It's very simple and very easy to make. If you press the power button, comma, the computer turns on. These are used to state very, very obvious facts. Very, very obvious facts. If you press the power button, the computer turns on. Of course it does. Okay, let's go back. I'm going to bring up the presentation. I'm going to use the presentation from Smrt English, from the Smrt English curriculum. Scroll down, scroll down. Okay, so now we're on to finally our lesson. We're a half hour in. Finally our lesson, 9.3, other conditional expressions. Good, Diary, that's a good sentence. Diary wrote, if it rains, the ground gets wet. Yeah, they're just used to state very, very simple facts. If it rains, the ground gets wet. They're very, very simple. Okay, here we go. Here we go with the new one. So you know the basic conditionals now. I just talked about 0 really quick. So you know 0, 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 types of mixed conditionals, and that's all the types of conditionals. However, we have only learned the rules for making conditional sentences with the word if. It is important to learn that in English, we don't only use if to make conditional sentences. We have other words, like even if. So you just add the word even if. However, the meaning changes. This expression is used in first, second, and third conditional sentences. Its meaning is that something doesn't matter or doesn't change the result. The condition doesn't have an effect on the result. We often use the word still in the result clause for extra emphasis. Let's take a look at some examples to see what this means. Imagine. Use your imaginations. Imagine it's raining hard and it's very windy. Of course, if you go outside, you will get wet. It's raining really hard and it's very windy, so you will get wet. So there's 2 conditions that are possible. If you don't have an umbrella, if you have an umbrella. However, it's so windy or rainy, having an umbrella does not matter. Does not matter. To say that the condition of having an umbrella doesn't matter, we use even if before the condition. You will still get wet even if you have an umbrella. Having an umbrella doesn't matter. You will still get wet even if you have an umbrella. So both conditions, having an umbrella, not having an umbrella, do not matter. And we use the words even if to show that it doesn't matter. The condition doesn't matter. You are going to get wet no matter what. So Rosa asks, what's the difference between even if and even though? Even though, let's see. Let me go to my class notes. So it helps me to think when I write. So there's our umbrella example. If I were to use even though, to answer your question, Rosa, if I were to use even though I had an umbrella, I got wet. I would say even though I have an umbrella, I will get wet. Kind of the same, I guess, even though you, yeah, I would use them the same. Even though I have an umbrella, I will get wet. Although, actually, now that I think about it, I would use it with past tense. Even though I had an umbrella, I got wet. I would use it the same way I use even if, but I would use it to state something that I knew for certain actually happened. I would suggest using even though you don't have to. I would suggest using it with past tenses in this case. And the sentence I just said, I would suggest using even though with past tenses, even though you don't have to. I think even though shows, for me, if I think about it, I think even though also shows more of a choice. Even if kind of means doesn't matter. There's really no choice. I think even though shows that you'll have the same results. No matter what you choose. And even if maybe suggesting less of a choice, if that makes any sense. Steve, that's a good sentence. The internet still stops once in a while, even if you pay the bills. I like that sentence. It's very true to my current situation. The internet still stops once in a while, even if you pay the bills. Nora, your sentences, let's see, Nora, do your sentences make sense? Even though it was cold, I didn't wear a jacket. Even if I wear a jacket, I will still feel cold. Yeah, I think that's good. Even though it was cold, I didn't wear a jacket. Even if I wear a jacket, I will still feel cold. I think that's a good illustration of the difference between even though and even if. Even though does seem to indicate more of a choice. Despite the condition, more of a choice. Let me get my big head out of the way here so you can see everything on the screen. Can if be skipped? If can only be skipped. You can only remove if you have a different word. You can use a different word, but there should still be some word that indicates, there still should be some word that indicates that you're writing a conditional sentence. Steve, I like your explanation. So Steve's explanation is, even though I have an umbrella, means I do have an umbrella. Even if I have an umbrella, maybe I have an umbrella or maybe not. Hypothetical, even if explains the hypothetical, even though does not explain the hypothetical. Thank you, Steve. That's a good way to say it. So we're going to go with Steve's explanation here. Even though means I do have something. So again, it is my choice. I am in control. Even if is a hypothetical situation. I may have an umbrella. I may not have an umbrella. Just a hypothetical situation. I think I'm going to go with that for now. They're very, very close in meaning, however. But still be careful when you use them. Okay, let's talk about even if a little more. Let's look at another example. Imagine you think Mercedes-Benz cars are not very nice. Of course, you will never buy a Mercedes-Benz because you don't like them. Also, you will never buy a Mercedes-Benz because you don't have enough money. But this doesn't matter because you don't think they are very nice. You wouldn't buy a Mercedes-Benz if you had enough money, if you didn't have enough money. Money doesn't matter. To say that having enough money doesn't matter, again, use even if in the second conditional because you are imagining it. I wouldn't buy a Mercedes-Benz even if I had enough money. Having enough money doesn't matter. So just the idea, just hypothetically thinking, money doesn't matter. If you had money, if you didn't have money, either way, you are not going to buy a Mercedes-Benz. Oh, Aaron, I see. With your example, can if be skipped? So Aaron has an example, and it's probably a good one here. I'll put it below the Mercedes ones. Were I healthy, I would play soccer with you. Yes, so yeah, it is possible to express without the if. Although this one, were I healthy, I would play soccer with you. Without the if, it is super formal. It is very, very, very formal. I would say this is more British than English because it is very formal. I tend to think of the formal as being more British than English. You would not hear people say this a lot, especially in America. But it is possible. You're right, Aaron. It is possible. You can skip the if, but it's going to be a more formal way of expressing it. So, formal, it's a matter of formality. Okay, let's look at the next example, or more examples. Let's just take a look at more examples. You will like the movie even if the English is hard to understand. I would still be tired today even if I hadn't had a lot to drink last night. I went to bed very late. I still wouldn't, and this one's for you, Vivek, I still wouldn't be your girlfriend, even if you were the last man on earth. So again, it doesn't matter the condition. The condition does not matter. If you can understand the English, if you can't understand the English, you will still like the movie. If I didn't have a lot to drink last night, or I only had a little or had nothing to drink last night, I would still be very tired today. If you were the last man on earth, if you were not the last man on earth, I still wouldn't be your girlfriend. Doesn't matter the condition. Doesn't matter the condition there. And that's even if. Okay, let's look at the next word. Unless. Unless. Unless is a very popular expression used mostly in the first conditional. Its meaning is if not. It is used to explain one realistic exception and the only exception to something. So remember, this is the only exception. So something will be true except if one condition exists. The exception is the only thing that can change the result. The exception is the only thing that can change the result. Example 1. You will go to the park this weekend. The only exception to this plan is if it rains. I will go to the park this weekend unless it rains. I will go to the park if the sun is out. I will go to the park if it's raining. Not raining. If it's cloudy. I will go to the park if it's snowing. I will go to the park if there's a lot of people. I will go to the park if there's no people. I will go to the park if it's morning. I will go to the park if it's afternoon. I will go to the park if it's night. However, the one condition that can make me not go to the park is rain. So you would say, I will go to the park this weekend unless it rains. So yes, the one exception. Good, Anthony. I like these internet examples. Anthony wrote here. put it in the examples. You will not get internet unless you pay the bills. The one exception that makes the internet is possible is paying the bills. Paying the bills. Yes, yo, Mera, you can say, I will not wear a sweater unless it's freezing. And in that one case, I will wear a sweater. Good, it looks like you guys understand this one. Unless is important. It's super common. Abdulaziz, I'm not going to the party unless you come too. The only thing that can make me go to the party is if you come as well. Rosa, we will play football unless it rains. We plan to play football. We will play football unless it rains. So think of the one thing that can stop you from doing something, and that's unless. You will not pass the exam unless you work hard. The only thing that makes passing the exam possible is if you work hard. You will not pass the exam unless you work hard. Okay, I'm going to continue with the slide. Another example. Let's say you are having a meeting at 3 p.m. You will start at 3 p.m. The only exception to this is if someone is late. We will start at 3 p.m. unless someone is late. If someone is late, it stops the meeting at 3 p.m. So that's the one exception that can stop the meeting at 3 p.m. Now, another example. You want to say that you will be angry if the bus isn't on time. Because you are explaining why you will be angry, do not use unless. You are not explaining the only exception. So this is not an unless sentence. You are explaining specifically why you will be angry. I will be angry if the bus is not on time. I will be angry if the bus is not on time. So I guess the opposite way to express this, if you wanted to use unless, it would be, I will be happy unless the bus is not on time. However, if you're going to describe the situation in which you are angry, don't use unless, use if. I will be angry if the bus is not on time. So it's a common mistake for students to confuse when to use if and when to use unless. So the part without the if, that is what is going to happen, and then you say the condition under which it happens. I will be angry. What condition will make you angry? If the bus is not on time. That's a condition that will make me angry. If you said, I will be happy in every situation, generally you will be happy, but what's the one thing that can change that condition? Unless the bus is not on time. So we use if to mean this can change my mood to angry, and we use unless to show how we generally feel, except for this one exception. And it's confusing. It can be confusing. So watch your sentences. But looking at your unless sentences, it looks like you understand. So let's put it here. You are going to do the lesson unless you go out late. Probably not yesterday, Leo. Probably, unless you go out late tonight. You could say, unless you went out late yesterday, but you're going to do the lesson unless you go out late tonight. We're talking about the future here. Are going to, be going to. So we're talking about the future. You are going to do the lesson unless you go out late tonight. So it looks like you understand unless. So So let's continue. Maybe another example. You want to ask if it will be okay if you don't wear a tie to the party. You want to know if it will be all right if specifically you do not wear a tie to the party. You are not describing an exception. Do not use unless. Will it be okay if I do not wear a tie to the party? So again, this is not an unless. This is not an exception. Will it generally be okay if I do not wear a tie to the party? So let's get back to the unless. Example 5, you want to say that you will break up with your boyfriend if he doesn't quit smoking. Is the condition if he doesn't quit smoking the only exception to the result you will break up with your boyfriend? Yes. I will break up with my boyfriend unless he quits smoking. This means you will break up with your boyfriend. The only thing that can stop you from breaking up, this is your decision. You're going to do it unless he quits smoking. He needs to do this one thing. Otherwise, the relationship is over. Okay, other expressions. Let's look at some other expressions. As long as, so long as, provided, providing that. These three expressions all have the same meaning and usage. They are used mostly with the first conditional. So these are facts. They mean only if the following condition is true, then something else will also be true. As long as you work hard, you will pass the test. As long as you work hard, you will pass the test. You will pass the test. This will be true if you also work hard. If you can make that true, then the second one will be true. The next one, so long as you work hard, you will pass the test. So you can use these as synonyms. You can use these the same, as long as or so long as. Provided that you work hard, you will pass the test. Providing that you work hard, you will pass the test. So again, synonyms. You can use these as synonyms. As long as, so long as, provided that, providing that. Do not confuse these expressions with unless. Remember, unless is used to explain the only exception. The above expressions are used to say the only condition to achieve a result. I will go to the park this weekend as long as the weather is nice. The only condition that makes me go to the park. I will go to the park this weekend unless it rains. The only exception. So here we have only condition, and here only exception. Let's look at more differences. He'll like your present, providing that he likes sports. He'll like your present unless he doesn't like sports. So only condition, only exception. I'll do my homework so long as I have internet access. Only condition. I'll do my homework unless the internet stops working. Only exception. So that brings me to the end of the slides. So remember the differences between these, especially with unless. Unless is the exception. Good, Anthony, this is good. Let me use this example. Your knowledge will improve as long as you study hard. That's good. Your knowledge will improve as long as you study hard. So what's the only condition in which your knowledge will improve? As long as you study hard. Vivek, you write, I will leave in peace as long as she gets to know. Know what, Vivek? What is she going to know? I will leave in peace as long as she gets to know me? What is it that she knows in that sentence? Rosa, you're asking about when? So since we've used this example so many times, I will go to the park when it stops raining. So this condition it's a time conditional. So if it's raining now, I will go to the park when it stops raining. When it stops raining. I'm going to wait for the rain to stop, and then I will go. So it's a time conditional. I'm waiting for something to happen in time. Yeah, Vivek, I think Vivek's sentence is also, I will love her. We wouldn't say unless. This is also a time one. I will love her until my heartbeat stops. So we use when and until to show we're waiting for something in time to happen, for a condition to be true. Adam, you have an interesting sentence. But for the Smrt Live class, I would not have a great opportunity. So this is another exception. If you start with but for a condition, it's an exception. It's like unless. But for the Smrt Live class, I would not have a great opportunity. We also express this, save the Smrt Live class, I would not have a great opportunity. So we also can use the word save. We can use but for, also talking about the exception. What else do we have here? Raza, this one's good. I will lend you my laptop as long as you take care of it. Nora, here's a tricky conditional. I will love you as long as you love me. Boy, that puts a lot of pressure on the other person. That puts a ton of pressure on the other person. I will love you as long as you love me. Here's an unless sentence. My business, and remember we'll need the future modal, my business will get better as long as I'm a boss, and probably the one and only boss, hopefully. Okay, do you want to try? So we've looked at, yeah, as long as, so long as, those are the same. Let's try using even if. So let's look at the example. Arabic is a very hard language to teach. It would be difficult to learn even if you were from Saudi Arabia. How about this one? You won't have any money left even if you buy that computer, unless you buy that computer, if you buy that computer. What expression would you use for be? You won't have any money left, blank, you buy that computer. What expression would you use in that sentence? In B, what would you use there? You won't have any money left, blank, you buy that computer. What would you use there? Yeah, this one simply needs to be if. You won't have any money left if you buy that computer. We wouldn't use even if here. We can't do an exclusion. If you don't buy the computer, you will still have money. So we would say you won't have any money left if you buy that computer. That good. Everybody got that. Wow. I see a lot of ifs. Oh, good job, guys. Okay, how about the next one then? How about C? What do you think for C? I don't like BMWs. I wouldn't buy one, blank, they were cheaper. How about for C? Asta, Gupta, Rosa, Vivek, it looks like you're a little ahead of everybody else. That's right. I don't like BMWs. I wouldn't buy one even if they were cheaper. No matter what, there's no condition that would make me buy a BMW. They're not that bad. D. She crashed her car yesterday because she is a terrible driver. Blank, she hadn't wrecked her car yesterday. It would have happened eventually. How about for D? She crashed her car yesterday because she is a terrible driver. Blank, she hadn't wrecked her car yesterday. It would have happened eventually. How about for D? Yes. Good, Asta. Even if. Adam, you're asking, is it for surprise? Is even if for surprise? It's not for surprise. Even if is like saying no matter what. No matter what. It doesn't matter. The conditions don't matter. The situation doesn't matter. I'll show you some more even if examples. Go down to where it says even if. So remember the umbrella one. Remember the umbrella one. So I might write something like, I will go to the concert even if I still have a cold. I will go to the concert even if I still have a cold. So that means I have a cold or I got better and I don't have the cold anymore. It doesn't matter. My health does not matter. I'm going to that concert. I don't care. I don't care if I have to get everybody at the concert sick. I am going. So it means no matter what. Divya, that's a good question. What is the meaning of wrecked in this sentence? If she hadn't wrecked her car, it means crashed. It means crashed. Had an accident, had a car accident. Hit something with your car and damaged the car. So she hit something. She hit another car. She hit a tree. I don't know. We don't know what she hit, but she crashed her car yesterday because she's a terrible driver. Even if she hadn't wrecked her car yesterday, it would have happened eventually. It doesn't matter. The situation doesn't matter. If she hadn't wrecked her car, she's going to get in an accident in the future because she's a terrible driver. Okay, I'm going to share the class notes one more time. I'm going to have to say goodbye to you. I know there was a spot where I was gone for a while. We had some technical difficulties, and I would love to stay and make up that time, but I have to go, and I have to teach in a classroom now. So, again, I'm going to be gone next week, but I'll be back in 2 weeks. You'll see me again in 2 weeks. Please look for me. Use that YouTube channel. I shared the link with you in the class notes. Please use that YouTube channel to look for upcoming classes, to look for our class schedule, so you'll know when I'm going to be back. I'll miss you all, so please have a great week. Have a great holiday week if you're going to celebrate any holidays this week. If not, just relax a little bit. Instead of watching my videos, watch a movie or a TV show in English, please, and get some sleep. Why don't you? You guys need more sleep. All right. I will have a nice vacation. Bye, everybody. Great sentences today. As always, I wish I could have gotten to all of your sentences, and because you guys are awesome. I really, really mean that. And it looks like you've got this. Looks like you've got these conditionals down pretty good. If you feel like you don't, go ahead and look at the class notes again. There are a few more questions to answer. Try to answer those questions. And I will be back very, very soon. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.